What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from the Springfield terminal. Just came over here from Campus Inn, stayed there overnight, had dinner with the driver that's going to be driving my truck, and we're going to hold off on letting that out the bag. Some of you guys know, so just keep that on the down low if you know. Trying to muster up the strength to walk in here and take a shower. And you know, I got my clippers at home, but I decided to get some clippers out here, so we're gonna be cutting this down so I'm not looking quite as raggedy, and shaving up a bit because this shit right here is itchy, boy. So anyway, just want to talk about hours of service. You know, I was talking to somebody that was trying to understand their clock, things like that, and one of the things that came up was 34s and recaps and things like that. And just kind of wanted to talk about my philosophy when it comes to clock management. Now, I'm not one of the drivers out here that's rationing hours. I'm not, you know, if you drive 8.5 hours a day, you'll always have hours. And you know what? A load is going to take as many hours as it's going to take to get there. Okay? I run the way I run, and I've never really been forced to take a 34, so we'll talk about that. But I just run all out, to be honest with you, and I'll run like if for example I had a load and it was, let's say 1,300 miles, I guess would be a good example. Those first 2 days, I'm gonna try to put 1,200 miles plus on that load, so I could get out and really chill that last, you know, maybe whole day at the back end of that load. Now, as far as recaps and 34s go, there are certain times when I like to be running low on hours, and there are times that I would like to get a full clock. Now, I rarely do a 34 out here because of clock management. I do 34s because my ass is tired. But let's kind of talk about the two different examples. If I am in an area I like to be in, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, you know, that region, I don't mind running low on hours because I don't mind bouncing around in that area, staying within that area. But the same thing is true in a different sense. Like if I'm in an area I don't like, New Jersey, Connecticut, anything up in the Northeast, I don't like running low on hours up there because I don't want to get bounced around in that region at all. And I guess the same would go for California to some degree. I don't absolutely hate California, but I prefer to get in and out. So if I'm in California, the Northeast, something like that, I would rather be dealing with a lot of hours so it would make sense for them to put a load on me to get me well out of there. You know what I mean? Give me 1,000-mile plus load out of the area. So I've never rationed hours. To me, it's never made sense. It was even something they were talking about. You know, one of the logs advisors was actually talking about it, and practicality, it just doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to run like this, like trying to tame a thoroughbred. You know what I'm saying? I just get out there and I just gotta run. So, you know, works for some people. Obviously, to me, it just doesn't make sense because you know, I just rather take all my rest at one time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just can't do it. 8.5 hours, I mean, or, you know, whatever that rationale is behind that, I can't do it. I'm running minimum, if I got, like, if I'm not going to end up at the location, I'm running minimum, absolute minimum, 10 hours a day. Unless, now, sometimes when you're thinking about clock management, you have to think about it in a three-dimensional sense. I just was on a load that was just so tight where I ended up having to run 8-hour shifts because the load was so tight that if I took 30-minute breaks to extend my drive clock, I would have been late for the appointment. I got there to that appointment with 40 minutes to spare, and I didn't take any 30s over the course of, there were only 2 days when I would have ended up having to take 30s. The rest of the back end of that trip was about 4 hours or something, or no, it's about 3 hours. So sometimes you have to think about subtle things like that when it comes to clock management. Like, if it's a tight load, am I gonna be able to, you have to think, okay, I just can't run out my entire clock today because these 30-minute breaks may affect that drop off. Another thing, which comes more on the split logging side of things, and I'm kind of off the main point, which I've already made, but split logging, you have to be thinking, okay, I'm picking up in, people say Atlanta. To me, Atlanta does not have that bad of traffic. It has bad drivers. But let's say you pick up in Atlanta. It's around 4:30 p.m. I know you want to get out there and run, but it may make sense to just take a 3 or 4 hour, take a 2.5, 3 hour break, whatever, at the shipper or at a truck stop near a shipper. Let that traffic die down a little bit and then get out running. You know what I'm saying? So I think the people that do the best at this business are the ones that manage their clocks the best. And to me, I've never understood why people don't really invest time in learning how to run their clocks more efficiently. I've seen a lot of people try to, they end up in what do they call it, PC hell or something like that, or where they get busted for doing, obviously wrong things with their logs. But the best thing I can say about that, and it's not anything that I do, but when it has happened, or if it happens, I'm not saying whether I have or haven't, but people that understand their clocks the best are the ones that are able to manipulate their clocks in that gray area better than people that have no idea of what's going to throw up red flags, things like that. So even if it's just for that purpose, learn how to operate your logs. And especially if you first get out here, I would just suggest running and gunning. You know what I'm saying? And if nothing else, running balls out. Even if you do end up working your way into a 34 or running out of hours, it'll kind of show you it's hard for me to explain it. It'll show you your limitations out here. But typically a good fleet manager is going to protect your hours. So they're not going to just be, there's going to come a point when your hours are in a certain position where the loads aren't going to be loads that are going to take up a lot of your clock. They're going to be loads that actually allow you to start gaining hours at some point. Totally off topic. Sorry about that. I need to come back here, get my shower bag ready, all that stuff. I need to come in here, pick up my little ring. Not that I wear it, I'm not a jewelry type person or anything like that, but I got to pick up my ring from the company store and a jacket, which I haven't picked up for a long time. I did come in here a couple weeks ago to pick up that ring. And truck drivers, boy, sometimes we can just be lonely, boy, because I'm in line, obviously waiting, and there's a guy that's in there talking to the cashier like they're, like, I don't know, about nothing, about everything but the transaction that was going on. So I just turned around and left and figured I'd just come back and deal with it later. So maybe that's today. Anyway. Might come in here and get a little something to eat. I'm not sure. Depends on how the knee's feeling. If you see me limping around, help me out. Like back in the days when they used to help people off the football field. No, I'm joking. It's not that bad. It actually feels a little bit better than it did the last couple days. So maybe that's just from not hopping in and out of these trucks doing all these damn dropping hooks, which is another topic I want to talk about. That may be my next video. Dropping hook versus live load. What do I prefer? Anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Truck and Transportation. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.